Jumping into the number 5 spot of the top 5 ultra budget gaming headsets in 2024 is the Tecware Q2, coming in at a price tag of only $9.49. Yes, $9.49. If you guys want to check out any of the 5 headsets in this video, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But let's talk about this $9.49 headset that is actually very much worth it. Let's immediately jump into the most important part, sound quality. It is very well balanced here. Obviously, don't expect the world for this price, but sound quality here is better than plenty of $40 headsets that I've tested. Troubles here aren't overdone. There's definitely muddiness here, but damn good for under frickin' 10 bucks. The other very surprising thing is bass. Like, this has bass and it's actually decent. This is surprisingly very enjoyable to listen to music on, which is kind of baffling to me because I expected this to be utter garbage and I did not expect there to be any chance of it being on the list. Every video I usually get 3 or 4 products that I order that I really never expect to test well, but this is the reason that I do that, because sometimes they do. Now, what about mic quality? You're probably expecting it to be trash, and honestly, that's what I expected too. Yeah, it's the best on the list. I'm not sure how they do it, but yeah, don't take my word for it though, take a listen to the mic test.
This is the mic test for the Tecware Q2s. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
I know. It is also shocking to me. Now, as far as tuning, the EQ from the factory is pretty much perfect. You really can't push these past how they come from the factory, which is a good thing, because you never really have to mess with them. But damn, it is seriously impressive. I don't know how they are selling these at a profit for $9.49. They must be losing money. Now, you really wouldn't expect it to have good troubles in game, but for the price, it is surprisingly clear, really enjoyable. All right, but how's the build quality? Well, it's entirely made of plastic with the Tecware logos on the ear side of the headset, decorative hexagonal indents on the ear cups, and a faux leather top band with a fabric padding. The adjustable bands are actually metal, which is extremely impressive. While it does look a little bit generic overall, you really can't complain because it still has good durability here. And obviously that sound quality is the biggest part. But will comfort lack? And yes, but not that much. This uses fabric earmuffs and a fabric top band, so it's very breathable. They're also very light, so there's not really any fatigue due to weight. Really, the only complaint is that the foam is a little bit harder than I would like, but it's not too big of a deal because the actual headset does not press too tightly against the head, so yeah. While it's not as plush and just lovely as some of the others on the list, it's not like it's uncomfortable. To finish it up with connectivity and compatibility, this comes with a Y splitter. It's obviously fully wired, like all of the headsets on this list. If you want wireless, you're gonna have to not be in an ultra budget price category, especially not for 10 bucks. But for compatibility, this really works with anything with a 3.5mm connection. So PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, really anything. But with that, let's move on to the number 4 spot. And this is the Rig 400, coming in at a price tag of a little bit more at $29.99. So how's the sound quality? Well, this has very good troubles for the price. They definitely have a drop off at the very upper end of the frequency range and not as much bass as others on the list, making them not quite as good for music and gaming, just primarily it's better for gaming. And it still has bass, just not as much as the others, even the Q2. That being said, objectively, when compared to the Q2, this has much better sound quality with better clarity. And although the bass on the Q2 is better, there's no question that the mids and the upper end of that frequency range are just crisper, cleaner, and have better clarity. Now the mic here is also pretty dang decent. Very clear, not quite like the Q2s, but I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they do it. But with that, take a listen to the Rig 400 mic test. Take a listen.
This is the mic test for the Rig 400s. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
So yeah, pretty good. Now, continuing on with sound quality in-game. The trebles definitely help. Still, for the price, extremely clear trebles. This also comes with Dolby Atmos and a code to get it free. So in the box, it'll have a code and you just like type that into Microsoft and you can get Dolby Atmos for free. So that's a nice plus to have. None of the other headsets have that. Build quality on the Rig 400s is extraordinarily unique and extraordinarily light, which does help with fatigue. This has a skeletalized design with a single piece top band with glossy black and gold accents. The ear cups here also adjust in a very unique way. You actually pop them in and out to adjust them up or down. Now, this surprisingly works very well and stays perfectly tight with zero creaking or movement. You would think that this would feel cheap, especially at this price point, but it's actually like a really refined system, which I don't know how, because I've never even heard of this company before. Not just that, but it's actually quite satisfying to pop them in and out. Now the top band here uses a suspension design, which we've seen now. It's been proven that the suspension design is typically more comfortable than the average like padded top band. Now that top band can also be popped off, making this literally a 4-piece headset. You can take the top band off, you can take the suspension top band off, the actual top band, and then you can take both ear cups off, like with all quick release type connectors, so you can literally break this down into separate pieces. So for traveling, maybe that would be a cool thing. It's a very unique headset. However, looking at it on video, it's like, that's very skeletalized. Is it super delicate? Well, most of the plastic here is a very like softer plastic, so it's a little bit more bendable, and that makes it quite durable. Now, comfort with these, as expected, because it's so light, it's very comfortable. Really, my only complaint here is I wish that the earmuffs were a little bit bigger for around the ear rather than on the ear design. This also limits you to either wearing contacts or maybe glasses wouldn't be the best, since on ear is gonna press a little bit too tightly, maybe pressing your ears flat and then pushing your glasses against your head. While this headset definitely doesn't press too tightly against your head, which for contacts like I'm wearing now, it makes it great, but again, it kind of just limits you to no glasses. The top band for comfort is also great because it perfectly disperses the weight, and really there's no other complaints with this headset. For compatibility, this comes with a Y splitter and it's compatible with anything with a 3.5mm connection, so Xbox, PC, PlayStation, Switch, really whatever. But with that, let's move on to the number 3 spot, which is the Eksa E900, coming in at a price point of $34.99. Eksa has very consistently over the years been one of my top picks for ultra budget headsets, and really just because their sound quality is always bang on. The EQ tune on this headset is extremely balanced, making for very impressive trebles with a tad of muddiness, but not being super underdone. Many companies will artificially pump up their trebles because their trebles have a drop off, because these aren't super high-end drivers, and that can create an overly bright and almost sharp sound that can actually be, well, literally kind of painful to your ear, and I absolutely hate it. These don't do that. They're very balanced and they go up to the frequency range and they don't try to artificially do anything, which makes for a much more realistic sound, well, as far as you can get with drivers that are this price. Mix that with clean mids and actually very good bass, and this makes for an awesome gaming experience with the ability to really enjoy listening to music. They also didn't skimp on the mic. Don't take my word for it though, take a listen to the mic test.
This is the mic test for the Eksa E900s. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know about you, but I think this is the second best on the list, but I guess you're just gonna have to listen to the rest of the headsets. Very impressive. Now, build quality on the Eksa E900s is solid, like just very solid. You get a lot of metal accents on the ear cups, fully metal adjustable bands that have tactile clicks for adjustments. You get a plush faux leather top band, faux leather earmuffs, and a detachable mic. With that added metal, it is a little bit heavier than the previous headsets, but it's also very, very durable for all you ragers out there. I know you guys are. Comfort here is also good, having great contact with the skull being over the ear. It fits perfectly on my skull evenly, doesn't have any high or pressure points, it just really sculpts nicely to my head. The earmuffs are also nice, they have a soft leatherette, but not quite the insanely pillowy experience of the higher end variation of this headset, the E900 Pros. Those have like a super plush foam inside. This has a different leatherette, which is still nice and soft, but the foam is not quite as plush. Really the only complaint with comfort. It's not uncomfortable, it's just not as comfortable as I know it could be. Well, because I have the E900 Pros as well. For compatibility, it's the same with all the headsets. 3.5mm connection, comes with a Y splitter, and if you want to use a PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, whatever you want, if it has a 3.5mm connection, it's gonna work. But with that, let's move on to the number 2 spot, which is the Razer BlackShark V2 X, coming in at a current price tag of $39.99. At the time of filming, it's on sale, but I think it's been on sale for a pretty consistent amount of time. So the sound quality here is really good. The drivers are really quite good. The trebles are definitely the best on the list, easily making this the best for gaming. However, the number 1 spot has superior bass, making it better for music. Really, by far better for music. These are still very enjoyable for music, don't get me wrong, but not quite as insanely impressive as the number 1 spot. However, if you're really primarily talking about gaming, these are better. Now let's take a listen to the mic test. Funny enough, I think it's the worst on the list. Still fine, still works good, but not as impressive as all the others. Take a listen.
This is the mic test of the BlackShark V2 X's. Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3.
That is how it sounds. quite interesting. Now, these drivers really come alive in game, giving great directionality and those smaller clicks and snaps and little sounds that give depth to a game and give that competitive advantage. That's what these drivers really do well. Now, build quality here is also really good for the price, definitely the most premium feeling on the list. There is a soft faux leather on the top band, really clean, nice green accents with being mostly blacked out, classic Razer, and due to the helicopter design, has these thinner metal adjustable bands, which some people do complain about in the future that, well, they stop working as much. We've had ours for quite a long time now, and we use it quite a lot and not super carefully, and we haven't had any problems. So I don't know to what extent that affects how many people. I don't know if it's just 1 in 1,000, 1 in 100,000. I'm not sure, but I know that ours has been fine. Comfort here is also great. Razer typically kills it with comfort. It's lightweight, so long gaming marathons will result in basically no fatigue. They don't press too tightly. They're not too loose. The earmuffs are a pleather on the outside, but it has a nice soft fabric on the inside, which is nice for breathability, but also sound isolation. Yeah, they did that well. There's also thicker foam on the inside of the earmuffs, so your ears, well, they don't hurt when they're inside of them. For most head types, this is gonna be very comfortable. For compatibility, obviously anything with a 3.5mm connection, that is something nice to have. But with that, let's move on to the number 1 best ultra budget gaming headset. This one surprised the heck out of me. This is the JLab Nighfall, coming in at a price tag of $39.99. To date, this is one of the most surprising headsets I have tested all freaking year. Let's talk about the sound quality here. The Nightfalls have insanely impressive frequency range, really getting all the way down to that low bass, and the trebles are extremely well tuned, not overdone. And for anywhere near this price, they have extremely little muddiness. Not quite as good just on the upper end frequency range as the Razers, but a more complete sound that is really quite impressive. As an audiophile, this impressed the heck out of me, and again, 40 bucks. The mids are nice and clear, and honestly, from a headset of this price, I did not expect this. This is the best on the list for music, and in game, it's still very clear, just a hair off from the Razer. Still comparing it to the 5, 4, and 3 spots, this is significantly better. This is in a whole nother range of audio quality. The mic here is also pretty good. Take a listen.
This is the mic test for the JLab Nightfalls. Check. 1, 2, 3.
And that is how it sounds. Now, does the build quality let it down? Well, initially it feels like its price point. It's quite light, the plastics are all hard, and honestly it's kind of generic. However, the design more resembles a high-end headset, which translates to the comfort in a huge way. That is the biggest point here. Really comfortable. We'll talk about it. Now, the mic arm is hard plastic. That's really the only letdown. It's still in a good location and the mic sounds good as you heard with the mic test, but it's literally hard plastic and doesn't really feel that expensive. However, durability doesn't seem like it to be an issue, except maybe the mic arm if you drop it from a high distance with the mic arm out, but just put it in the upright position, you should probably be okay. However, let's talk about comfort because these are worth it. Like, very worth it. These are by far the best on the list with comfort. The earmuffs are extremely soft leatherette, and I do mean extremely soft and pillowy. The top elastic band perfectly dispenses the weight, especially because not only is it that, well, nice elasticity that is fully adjustable, but it's nice and wide. It's almost the full width of the top band, so it really is like very comfortable. There's no points where you feel the weight of the headset. They really knocked this out of the park. Really the only con here is that, well, they're leatherette earmuffs. They didn't get quite as hot as I was expecting them to, but obviously more so than like a fabric earmuff. As for compatibility though, it's the same as all the others on the list. 3.5mm connection, Xbox, PC, PlayStation, Switch, really whatever has a 3.5mm connection. But again, if you want to check out any of the 5 headsets in this video, there is Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. The JLab Nightfalls absolutely blew me away. In higher end price categories, almost never do we get headsets that are more generic, that beat mainstream brands. But in this price point, yeah, they're doing well. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give a like below. We don't get very many likes because I never ask for them. So would you do it? Thanks. Even though this video is cheap, I had to buy like a lot of headsets and it was still a little expensive, but yeah. So if you could give a like, that's what helps support the channel. But this is a consumer tech review and I'll see you guys in the next video.